A show about great kids is one of my favorites. Let's meet two amazing young ladies who are the 2018 Boys and Girls Club's Youth of the Year, next on Lakeshore Focus. Running a business requires smart decisions every day. Make a good decision for your company today and reach other businesses by sponsoring Lakeshore Focus. People who watch our show are an active part of the community. They care about their neighborhoods, schools, and their homes. Are these viewers your customers? Well, they should be. To learn about all the benefits of sponsoring Lakeshore Focus, give us a call at 219-756-5656. And instead of seeing my face, you can see your business. Welcome again to Lakeshore Focus, a weekly show highlighting the key issues, important events, and interesting people in our region. I'm Keith Kirkpatrick. Each year, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Northwest Indiana choose one kid from each of their 10 clubs to be honored as Youth of the Year. Their selection is based on leadership, service, academic excellence, and healthy lifestyles. From that group, one is honored with the top award. This year, there were two due to the recent merger of the Lake County and Porter County operations. Let's meet Azariah Avery from the Merrillville Boys and Girls Club and Karina Martinez from the Duneland Boys and Girls Club. Welcome to the show. You guys are real pros at doing TV probably, right? You said you've done some before.
Yeah, I have. My school, we have this network called Pirate News Network, which basically is, you know, what's going on in school. They write about it, they show it every Friday, and I have been asked to interview, and just
so you're a pro. We could just change seats, right? No, you're not going to do that with me? So is this the first time for you on TV?
I am the first time on TV, but I mean, hopefully not the last.
Well, that's probably not. Probably not. When you guys win awards, it probably says something about where you're headed in life. So I was at this event the other night, which was awesome. There was a lot of people there. You guys didn't know you were getting picked, right?
No.
Not until they announced it right there. There was 10 possibilities, and they lined you all up, and then they called you guys out. So what'd that feel like? What'd that feel like?
I honestly was super nervous. When they said my name, I was in total shock. Like, they made us prepare, you know, thank you speeches. So, you know, I had one just in case. And as soon as I got up there, I was like, this actually happened.
You didn't have the rejection speech, like, I'm sorry I didn't win?
No.
No, that was just what you had to give to your parents later?
Yeah, I know. Sorry that I couldn't pull through this.
Sorry I didn't do the family well. Azaria, how did it feel for you?
It was shocking. It just, you know, hearing my name being called, it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. It's just the greatest feeling in the world. I just cannot imagine it, like, you know, happening. It was just my thank you speech. Like she said, everyone had prepared once. I'm like, you know, now I'm like, it's not just me. So, but then when they called my name, reality really hit that I had won.
So let's be honest. Did you really think you were going to win or not?
I honestly didn't.
I really
didn't.
I kind of thought I did, because when I was going through the initial judging process, the judges, you know, seemed to like actually engage with me. And so, you know, I had a good feeling. I thought maybe the runner-up, and not necessarily the winner, but maybe close like the runner-up.
So this is kind of a big deal in the Boys and Girls Club. First of all, I think so our viewers know, you guys, this is one of the biggest clubs now with this merger, I think, in the country. And I think there's something like 10,000 kids, maybe more than that, involved in all these clubs, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
The number's big. The number's big.
Yeah.
I know that. So you got picked out of a large number of kids, which seems to be a huge honor. So why do you think they picked you?
I honestly think I just showed them that I'm capable of being a leader, because I do think I am, and I have a vision to help others, and I want to be able to do that, and they, I think, really saw that. And I play my part throughout the club, and I think that helped me get to where I am now.
So are you capable of being a leader, or you are a leader?
I am a leader.
Good answer. I'm all about leadership here. So how about you? Why do you think they picked you, Azariah?
I've been going to the Boys and Girls Club for some time now. So as a little girl, I feel that they saw the leader in me. They watched me develop. They gave me the necessary tools to develop. And, just using those tools that they taught me, I, used that at the club, at school. I showed through, my academic excellence, all of that. I made sure that they could see that, I really wanted this. A previous winner from our club, he really inspired me, and I just wanted to be there. So, I worked hard when others didn't. I made sure to show that, when they needed somebody at the club, I was there. So I just really wanted me to, my presence to be known at the Boys and Girls Club.
So how old were you when you started going to the club?
Like 6.
6, and you now are?
I'm 16.
16. So for 10 years you've been doing this. Okay. So how about you? When did you start at the club?
I started when I was 5, and I'm 15
Oh, you just
now.
had to beat her out.
I mean,
5. And how old are you now?
I'm 15.
Oh,
So yeah, we both have been there.
look at this.
for
It just kind of
quite a
works
while.
out perfect. Now you're at the Duneland Club, which is in Chesterton, right?
Yes.
So you go to Chesterton High School.
Yeah.
Right? And you're at Merrillville High School.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. So how different is the club atmosphere and the environment than at the school?
At the club, for me at least, it's a lot easier to kind of just be myself, because at school a huge thing is trying to fit in, and you're so focused on just getting work done and not really socializing as much. But at the club I can kind of just relax and hang out with my friends, and they still have activities planned to keep us active and all that, but I can kind of take my cover off in a way and just be myself.
How different is it for you?
Well, I agree with her. It's a place where I can be myself, Not that I don't be myself at school, but
I was going to ask that next question.
not that I'm not myself at school, but it's a place where I know truly if I make a mistake, I'm still going to be accepted. I'm not looked at any differently. I'm still cherished in a way. I have people who I know have my back. There's no questions for to say at Boys and Girls Club. There's no need to trust, question integrity, trustworthy, none of that. It's just something that I know for sure that's at the club that I'm not sure of maybe at school, but.
So it feels like a really healthy environment,
Yes,
as
definitely.
opposed to maybe some
Absolutely.
of the infighting and crazy stuff that goes on at the high school. I still can remember that. It's been a long time, but I remember some of that crazy behavior goes on. So what do you is there a stigma, or is there any perception of who goes to the Boys and Girls Club by the other kids in the schools? I mean, do they say, oh, these kind of kids go to the Boys and Girls Club, or is it just, you're shaking your head yes, so there must be some stigma to it or some definition?
Well, I don't know for her school, but my school, there's only maybe 3 out of I'm a sophomore. There's 2 sophomores that go to the Boys and Girls Club and 1 junior. There's not a lot of kids that go. Most of them they go to 5th and 6th grade and they're like, okay, I'm done. So I feel like they have when they heard that I won, they you still go there, or they must give you money, or they assume that it's a reason that I'm going, I'm getting paid, but I have to explain I find myself a lot having to explain it because I want to go as a place where I find myself happy and where I can help kids. I want to be a pediatrician, so it's guiding me, so that's why I go. I find it kind of shocking, you still go. And
Well, I guess the name does throw people off because it's called the Boys and Girls Club, and you're young women here, so it's kind of why are you still going there? So how is it at your school? Same kind of thing?
Yeah, it is kind of the same thing. There's only a handful, 5 high schoolers that go there. A lot of them are younger. We have a lot more coming in since we've added our new part of the building, but it's more middle schoolers, but we're kind of spreading the word and getting more kids to come. But like she said, yeah, people are you still go there? That was something I did in elementary school. And
But this is a big thing for you guys when you were younger, particularly. I mean, this was a very formative place for you to be, and that's evidently the vast majority of kids. So you guys are leaders and role models. So what do you think is one of the most important things for you to role model to the younger kids, Azariah?
Well, I know being, going to the Boys and Girls Club, I go head to head, like face to face with the kids, and I ask them what could they be dealing with at school, because most likely I could have dealt with it when I was going there. So I just really want the kids to know that it's okay to be them. I see that a lot at Merrillville. A lot of kids feel the need to fit in or try to pretend to be someone else, and I experience that as well. So that's my role at the Boys and Girls Club. I feel I really show kids, that it's okay to be you, and that you're unique and you don't have to be anyone else. And I feel like that's what I really do as my part as a role model at Boys and Girls Club.
How about you? What's your role modeling?
For me, it would have to be getting involved. Like, a lot of the other kids join things because, oh, Karina's doing it, so let me do it. So I feel like I'm a huge leader when it comes to getting involved with that stuff, especially the younger kids. They're always like, oh, Karina, where are you going? Like, with the Youth of the Year competition, they had like a send-off for me, and like all the little kids look up to me, and I just, to me, that's great, because I want them to.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It really does.
I mean, that they look at you and go, wow, you're really important. I mean, that is a great feeling at any age, I can tell you. So maybe each of you could share a story where you felt like you had an impact on a kid. I mean, you were there at the right moment, or that you were there, or you had a really interesting conversation, or maybe you just really helped some kid without sharing their name. Just, you got a story?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the little girls, I remember there was this one little girl that came up to me, and she was like crying, and I didn't even know who she was. And she started talking to me, telling me like, what was wrong. I was just listening, and she goes, I wish I could be like you. She's like, she told me, you're so strong, and it's just the fact that like little kids come and talk to me because they feel like they can trust me in a way, and I feel honored by that, honestly, because that's a huge thing for me, like, to know that strangers look up to me like that, even so young. And I think I helped her because we talked through it, and I remember I spent the day in the games room with her just playing, and it was really nice.
So what was troubling her?
She was at school, and it's what happens a lot. She got picked on for something she had, like she was wearing this one shirt, and she's like, I don't like this shirt, and something silly like that, and it made her so upset. And I just had to talk with her, and like Azariah says, kids have to stay true to themselves, but there's such a need to fit in nowadays that it's hard, even for younger kids.
It is the greatest insult, isn't it, to come up and say, I really don't like what you're wearing. I mean, kids take that very personal. It's like, that looks terrible.
Especially.
So how about you, maybe a story where you felt like you really helped a kid?
Going to the Boys and Girls Club, I'll never forget. Going to the Boys and Girls Club, I have told my story to other kids about how I was bullied as a kid. So, a lot of kids, come to me with their problems and like, how did you solve this? So I'll never forget, a girl came up to me and said that she had been bullied, and, that she felt like no one was there for her. And, her parents didn't seem to understand. Her teachers didn't seem to understand. The social worker wasn't helping. She actually felt that the social worker was making things worse. So she actually, was like, I'm almost about to, end it all. And I was like, I've been down that road. That's not the road you want to go to. I made sure I was there every day to, walk with her, to give her like the kind of like love that I feel like I could have had when I was going there. She said she felt like the staff wasn't necessarily paying attention to her, so they couldn't like really see what she was going through. So going through that as myself, I took her through the right steps, told her that it's okay. Being picked on is a part of life. It happens to everyone, but just accept who you are. Find the right people in your life that embrace who you are and who you want to be, and that's just what I took her through. And she's doing fine now. She's in the 8th grade, so.
Wow, you guys made a big difference in those girls' lives. So how do you think this experience, maybe even winning this award, is shaping you for the future? What has it done for you or will do for you into the future?
For me, this has really shown me that there are a lot of people who are behind me, who encourage me to really push myself to be the best I can, and it's put me on a path to make sure I can do anything possible to get to where I want to be. And I have a lot of big goals and plans, and I know now that I can do it.
Isn't that a great feeling?
It really
to feel like I could really take on the world. I can actually do anything I wanted to do. How many kids are you around that you think have that kind of feeling?
I don't think there's many of us that have that feeling anymore. There's so many kids who don't have someone to talk to or someone who's behind them, and I'm really lucky I have so many loving people aside me.
Well, getting an award like this is a pretty big deal, where they say you are Youth of the Year out of all these kids, you know. So I mean, that does kind of put this stamp on you, like you are very special and you've done some great things and you have capability of doing more. How's it shaped you?
I can't say that I've become better as a person. Like Karina said, it has really shaped me. I feel like she said I can conquer the world. I feel like I'm unstoppable, kind of. But I feel like, you know, there's always chances. And like you said, there's not a lot of people who have those chances. I'm just blessed enough that I was able to have that chance, and it really has shaped me as a person. I feel like I'm already a friendly person. I like to, you know, reach out, but just becoming this person with the Boys and Girls Club has shaped me even more.
So you want to go into medicine, right?
Yes.
So what has made you want to go that direction?
I am a caring person. I like to help. I love science and math, so I figured,
Does that mean you're a nerd or something?
Yeah, I am a nerd.
Okay. That's okay, right?
Yeah, nerds rule. But I've tried to, you know, figure out a way to how I can help people through science and math, and, you know, something that I would love to do. And I figured, well, medicine, you know, I had an aunt who passed away from lung cancer, and, you know, that hit me hard. So, you know, I'm like, I want to, you know, if I can find a cure to this. I know it sounds like, you know, stereotypical, because everybody wants to find a cure to cancer, but this really hits home for me, and this is something that I really want to do. Not just, you know, people like who have lung cancer, but anybody of any diseases I would like to help in, you know, finding cures. I want to do the research type of medicine.
Now, I've kind of violated one of my rules, which is I think we need to quit asking young people what they expect to be when they grow up, because I know way too many adults who don't know what they're going to be. But you kind of mentioned that you had kind of a direction that you want to go. Have you kind of figured out some things you might want to do at this point?
Absolutely.
And it's okay to say no.
No, I've had this planned out since I was younger. I originally had the plan that I was going to be the president and that I was going to change the world like that. But I've actually decided to still do something in law. I want to be a prosecutor. And I know it's just, to me, that's a big deal, because like your decision is final, and having some experience with that, like to know how that is on someone, like to have a huge impact on someone's life with something like that. I want to continue to be able to have an impact on people.
Well, don't give up on the elected leadership thing, because we really need some good elected leaders. So maybe that's still an avenue for
It
you,
could be.
and keep yourself kind of open to that. So what do you think that the Boys and Girls Club could do to even better than they maybe are currently doing? Because I think they do a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. What's one thing that they could maybe do better?
Reach out to the teens more. I feel like, you know, Merrillville, we don't have like a after-school program where everyone could join in. I feel like if we had maybe a better program where we could have, you know, high schoolers, middle schoolers. It doesn't just stop at kids in 5th and 6th grade, because I know a lot of teenagers who could use a place to go to after school or anything like that. So,
how would you draw them in? Because that's a hard group to draw in, right?
Yeah.
How would you draw them in?
Let's break it up. So boys, basketball. We know they
Okay.
love basketball. So if we have, you know, maybe on Thursdays, have the boys come in and play basketball, and then maybe for an hour have someone lecture them about manhood and, you know, becoming a man. And then girls, maybe on Wednesdays and Fridays, have the girls have a talent show or a dance, or, you know, or having the older girls come in and talk to the younger girls. Just something to outreach, as well as something that's fun for the teens as well.
Was it intentional not to mix the boys and girls together on different days?
I mean, we can, but
Well, that's okay. I mean,
but typically
it might make a little more sense to separate them.
Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't want girls in the program when you're talking about manhood. So
That's probably true, and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you suggest?
I do think what Azariah said is totally true. Like, our club now is trying to do that, get a lot more teens to come in, and we do some of those things. We have groups where we can talk about those things for kids. Specifically, we have teen night, which is open to anyone, even if you don't come to the club. So a lot of club members bring their friends, and they come and they're like, "Whoa, this place is actually really cool." And so that's how we're getting teens. And the gym, that's a huge thing for boys. We've gotten a lot of guys coming for that.
Got that. You guys have got the boys ticket down here, I think. So I know this sometimes happens in, like, you guys both went through an interview process to win this award, right? Mm-hmm. So when you left the interview or thought about it later, was there something, I wish I would have told him, I didn't get a chance to tell him, or I wish I would have said this better, or really made a point about this? What didn't you tell in the interview?
I feel like I said everything that I had wanted to say, but just things I probably wish I could have cleared up a little better, or I could have told more about my experience with, like, sports, and not just about the club, but how I'm also involved in sports, and then school activities as well. So maybe a little bit more of that, but I feel like I pretty much said everything.
More well-rounded, to talk about you're a little more well-rounded person, not just, it's not all about the club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about you? Is there something like, I wish I'd have really told him this?
Well, there was a certain question they had asked me about on how I want to get other kids to get involved with, like, volunteering and stuff, and I told them my plan for that, and I wish I would have gotten to speak a little bit more about it, because I was kind of brief on that, because that is really hard to get teenagers to want to volunteer. And
it's hard to get adults to want to volunteer.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. We're really down to the last little bit here, so I'm going to ask you one final question. If you had to give one piece of advice to young people today, people your age or even younger, what would that one piece of advice be? I want kids to know what?
My piece of advice would be, just because someone tells you no doesn't mean stop. You're going to hear a lot of no's in your life, but that doesn't mean stop. Becoming my journey here, I've heard a lot of no's, or you can't do it. And it has been hurting, but that doesn't mean stop. That means just keep pushing and conquer what you want to conquer, because you don't want to be 60 years old and be like, man, I wish I would have kept going, and just things like that. That would be my piece of advice to youth.
That's excellent. What would your piece of advice be?
My piece of advice for kids would have to be to really stop being so hateful to each other. Like, we need to come together, and as soon as that happens, there really isn't a limit to anything we can do. That's a huge thing that I want kids to know, is that there are no limits. You don't have to listen when someone says no. You can achieve really anything you set your mind to.
Well, I'm really proud of both of you and what you've done, and you guys are great examples, great role models, and it looks to me like you're great leaders. So thank you, and just keep going. Just keep doing it. Don't let them say no, right? And tell them to quit being haters, right? All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You bet. Periodically, I will hear adults share how they had attended an event where some young people had spoken or presented. They will tell me how impressed they were and then remark, "Those kids restored my hope in the next generation." Was your hope sagging, and why? I guess on a frequent basis we see and hear the bad, or what we classify as bad, about kids. Is it really bad, or is it our choice to place it in a negative category? A kid punching another? Bad. A tattoo? Maybe not my preference. Being arrested? Bad. Green hair? Not my choice. Drinking beer at 16? Bad. Music with 200 words per minute? Not for me. Even the bad stuff needs to be evaluated carefully. I'm not condoning these actions, but the punch may have been thrown while standing up against a bully. The arrest, perhaps a protest against a perceived injustice. The drinking could be an escape from abuse at home. We also make comments about the bad attitudes of kids. My eyes were opened during a recent focus show when one guest said, "Think about a high school girl who gets up in the morning. Her evening was filled with adults screaming and yelling in anger. She's tired from not enough sleep. She feels lousy because what she sees in the mirror does not match the images on TV. Maybe she's harassed or threatened on her way to school. It's ice cold outside and her coat is too thin. Her friends tell her she looks like crap. Throw in a few hormones and we wonder why she's got a bad attitude. It's tough being a kid today, as it was in the past. I seldom hear an adult say, "High school was awesome. Everyone loved me. I had no problems. Nothing bad happened to me. I always felt great. My life was perfect." Consider these few shared thoughts the next time you are losing hope in our kids. Remember, our parents and their friends probably thought our generations were going to hell in a handbasket. And most of us turned out okay, I think. We appreciate every time you watch us on Lakeshore PBS. Your comments about any of our interviews on Lakeshore Focus are helpful. You can send your thoughts through the website or via email, both listed on your screen right now. If you can't find a previously aired show on our website for some reason, go to YouTube, type Lakeshore Focus plus a guest name or topic, and there it is. Be sure and join us again next week for another Lakeshore Focus. Until then, I'm Keith Kirkpatrick saying, make a positive difference in our world today. Running a business requires smart decisions every day. Make a good decision for your company today and reach other businesses by sponsoring Lakeshore Focus. People who watch our show are an active part of the community. They care about their neighborhoods, schools, and their homes. Are these viewers your customers? Well, they should be. To learn about all the benefits of sponsoring Lakeshore Focus, give us a call at 219-756-5656. And instead of seeing my face, you can see your business.